Oh,
Let me know when you have it up and running.
Okay, and we are live.
This is, what is the date today?
16.
The 16th, December 16th, 6:30 PM. We will call the zoning board to order. And so Scott, you want to do a roll call?
I will. In attendance tonight, we have Richard Body. We have Acting Chair Marcia Hayward. And we have the Honorable Michael Foote. Absent tonight, Michael Delavecchia, Jane LaRoche, and Roland Mayhew. The only thing I have to say, Marcia, is that we will still have to elevate Richard
Yes,
to
we
a
will.
voting
Yep.
status. Also, for those in the gallery tonight, 61 Pine Street has asked to be removed from the agenda. They have, if you want to reach out to me tomorrow, I'll give you the full details on that, but they've withdrawn their application for this evening. So it'll just be the one for 206 Baldwin Street. When we get there, we do have a short board tonight, so you will have the option. You can either rely on this board, or you can withdraw until next month when we have a full board. So in order for it to pass the board tonight, you would need 3 yeses, and that's on both applications. So it's up to you if you want to take that chance going forward.
Okay.
Marcia?
Well, first thing we have to do tonight is we have to elevate Richard, who is our alternate member, to a full voting member tonight.
Really, an alternate?
Still until Mr. Mayhew, until he resigns.
Or, yeah, I believe we could do it as early as January, as long as the voting goes.
I don't
Yeah.
care. It doesn't.
Okay.
Gotcha.
But
I've been an
technically,
alternate for 3 years, so.
so tonight you are a
That's been
full
3 years.
voting member
we'll figure it out.
tonight.
And this young lady here is the
Mm-hmm.
applicant for 206 Baldwin Street as well.
So can we have the applicant for 206 Baldwin Street come forward, please?
Thanks.
Oh, I'm sorry. Marcia is not paying attention to the agenda. I apologize. We have to ratify the minutes from last month. And Scott, I have 2 corrections.
Yes.
Remember?
Yep.
So the first correction I want to make is on page 5. And
Okay.
on page 5 in the second paragraph, the 1, 2, third sentence, where it says the adjacent property at 60 should be 63. Okay.
3, yep.
Okay, and the other change I would like to make is on page 6, the very first sentence at the top of the page, where it talks about provisions that were set forth. The phrase, yes, they will, should be stricken, because there were no special provisions set.
And that was item 3 or item
C.
C,
item C?
on item C.
Got it.
We did not set any special
Perfect.
provisions on that property. So can I have,
Make a motion that we accept the minutes from the previous meeting as corrected.
I will second that.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. So now that the minutes have been approved,
As you were.
we don't have any extensions tonight, so we only have one applicant, which is 206 Baldwin Street. So now, if you would please come forward, introduce yourselves. Your name?
Good evening. I'm Amanda Marie Falwell.
And I'm her husband, Hawk. Nice to meet you.
How do you do? And you're the owners of 206 Baldwin Street.
I am the owner.
You're the owner, okay. So let it be known that Amanda is the party who owns the property. And so, Amanda, what I would like you to do is just walk us through what you would like to do.
Absolutely. So currently, the property has been approved for Airbnb and short-term rentals for the duplex. I would like to confirm and follow the policy to lock in the zoning that it is a duplex. Furthermore, I would like to submit the application fully for making it a multifamily in the existing property which serves right now as a garage slash barn, and everything is already there as well. There are also parking plans with the contractor zoned out in the application as well.
So
Which one?
this, so what they would like to do is, your home is listed as a two-family unit.
Yes,
And and what you want to do is you may want to make it a three-family unit.
Yeah, there's a carriage
So that's a
house, yeah.
change in density. And what they want to do is take the garage in the back here and the top portion of that garage, they want to turn it into the third apartment. So,
This is currently a two
Two-unit.
unit on 1/2 acre.
Yeah.
And, pardon my ignorance, how did we get to short-term rental in RS?
That one was approved prior planning director. I'm thinking he went with the owner-occupied status, where in the RS zone, if you're owner-occupied, you can do it for a certain amount of days, certain amount of rental periods. I'm thinking that's what he's gone on that aspect. I didn't really look. Once I saw the NOA, I shortened my search because it was in the file, so.
So that's currently in place.
Yeah.
What is NOA?
Notice of action, sorry.
Okay, sorry. Ignorant.
I will remind the board that in this particular zone where this is located, having multifamily, when you have 3 units, it's now called a multifamily, no longer two-family, and that is not allowed in your particular zone. I also researched all the houses on Baldwin Street, and I know you mentioned, Amanda, in your documentation here about the neighbor next door,
correct.
and you called it a multi-family unit. In fact, it is a two-family unit according to the tax map for Laconia.
Two
It-
versus multi.
Yeah, it's two versus
Got it,
multi.
okay.
Okay, so it is, and so there really are no 3 units on Baldwin Street, at least in your zone, because part of Baldwin Street is also in a different zone, down towards Laconia, the city. So I have found that there are 4 houses that are two-family, and all the rest are single-family homes on Baldwin Street. So it would be a little unusual to turn something into a 3-unit. So this is part of the discussion
Okay.
and questions that the board will have. Go ahead.
I think I'm addressing this to staff.
Yeah, we'll finish the questions with them.
All right, okay. Are you foreseeing this above the garage to also be a short-term rental?
We're actually thinking of making that place our primary residence, that we would live there.
Above the garage? And then, so the two-family is already approved for short-term rental?
I believe it would still be
Both.
allowed because if she were to do the additional one, she would have to get permitted. I would have to check on that, but I think the existing one would still be in there because it is still, even though it would be a multifamily, it's still a residential use. And short-term lodging leans towards residential use over the commercial side. So I'm almost certain it would still be allowed, at least in the one that is already permitted.
And we would lean into, midterm, long-term rentals for the extra unit. I mean, yeah, that was sort of the idea there.
They need 5 parking spots.
There we go. 1.5 per unit.
Yep. So it's total of 5.
Where do you find that? Out back? Is there on a drawing here?
Amanda, do you want to explain your thoughts on parking?
Absolutely. So I've already had a contractor come by, and they can dig out the retaining wall to the right of the driveway, which could, in addition, add several spaces.
And I believe when we got approved for the Airbnb. I think we were approved for at least 6 spaces.
Airbnb or?
Short-term rental.
Short-term
Okay,
rental.
okay,
Sorry,
okay,
yeah,
okay,
'cause we-
sorry,
when we
my own
when we
brain.
were approved for that, he actually, I believe we were put down for 5 or 6 spaces. And we actually, that was just the driveway, and we have an additional 2 spaces in the garage. And then we actually have
In the garage.
an existing before, there's a retaining wall to the right, so we've looked into widening that to a proper 2 or 3 extra spots there, so there'd be sort of 1 lane for each
That would be neat.
apartment. But we also have, to the right of the garage, there's actually a ramp there that I actually ground some stumps out of there, so there's actually 2 or 3 spots back behind the garage now. So we would have quite a bit of ample space without too much problems to.
I still wish you had come with a parking diagram to show us how you're gonna put, where, even if, because I've looked at your lot, and I did a little, I was using the dimensions from one of the drawings here. And I was looking at, I know you talked about taking out that retaining wall. You've got maybe 30 feet to the end of your property line. If you were, I was just taking a look at your driveway and going over there. But then you should have a 10-foot side setback, so you could have maybe 20 feet of driveway. And the driveways are supposed to be, let's see, they're supposed to be 16 feet times 5, that's 80 feet worth of driveway, and I'm just wondering how you're gonna move the cars around. I mean, I really like to see a plan where we could park a car here, 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 and here, and I can see how other cars are gonna move in and out of your property, whether they're going to be staggered. I can't visualize how you're gonna do those 5 spaces.
What is the side setback in RS?
In RS?
10
so-
feet.
Yeah,
10 feet.
Yep,
Well, and the general idea was to have each apartment would have 2 spots, 2 cars deep, so they have like a lane, a lane, and a lane. So just, I guess that'd be parallel or concurrent parking, one lane for 2, so. for
yeah, I
next-
know, they
two or
kind
two
of,
lane. Yeah. But yeah, we'd be happy to write up a proper diagram for you.
My question first here, please, Marcia. Is which hearing did we open?
The one for the use for 206 Baldwin.
But I mean, 2025 or,
I think it was 2.
it's 206.
Right, so it's
Yeah.
206, so we're at the variance for multifamily right now. and
Right.
Density is the second variance, so it's 2 variances.
Yeah.
This one, yeah. Sorry about that.
all good.
So
So-
right now, you have to
Right, so-
go from, get a variance to go from 2-family to multifamily, is what we're being asked.
And then the second one would be for the density, and
Yeah.
then after that, they would still have to travel to planning
Yeah,
board
yeah,
for
sure,
the
sorry.
Yeah.
multifamily site.
So
plan.
I
Yeah.
don't have any more questions for them.
Mike, do you have some questions for,
Not right now.
not at the moment? Do you?
Nope.
No, and like I said, because I
I-
did go out and take a look at the property, and I said the parking was my big concern.
Can I ask a question about ADUs? Now, the state tells us ADU by right is what we're talking here, an ADU, or what becomes the ADU in
Yep,
something like this?
that would be an aspect that they would have to look into to see if that would work for them. Currently, they're looking to go with the full rental multifamily, where,
Long-term or short-term, because it's already been approved? I don't know.
well, just that one space that's been approved is all they can use. They would have to get approved for something else.
Only one of the 2 units is approved for
Yep.
short-term rental?
Yep, whatever one the inspection was done on would be the approved one. And for them to use any other space, they would have to redo the process again. And then, if it's allowed, I would have to check with Rob and Tyler on that to see if a second unit is allowed in a multifamily, which may be problematic. But those are answers we could find.
Okay.
Yeah, because on the ADU, say if they went the ADU, then they would have to live in one or the other.
Right?
And it's,
And if you made your primary above the garage, that,
garage, yeah.
and that's your primary,
Yeah.
then you would be reduced in the amount you have because of the size of the primary versus,
Yeah, and I don't know if you can do an ADU within a multifamily. I would have to check on that.
it sounds like there's questions to be answered.
Well, I don't even know if you're interested in an ADU as an option.
Yeah.
Are you even familiar with what an
No.
ADU is? It's
Physically
called
thinking,
an
yeah.
accessory dwelling unit,
Okay.
and it's a maximum of 750 square feet, I believe, Scott?
Depending on the size of the.
Oh, that's right, it's in relationship
building.
to the main building. And by rights, any owner in a residential area can have one, but you have to be living
Yeah, but
in
I
the
don't
main
know
house,
if where
but-
they have the two-family
Right.
already, if that's gonna be an allowance they are allowed
Right.
to have.
So,
But again, food for thought, we can look into that. Could be option B if, you know,
Well, let's judge the merits of this one here first.
what are your, so, do you have any more questions?
No, I'm done
And
with
we're
that.
only looking at this first one, right?
Right, do you have any more questions of Amanda? And I'm sorry, your husband's name?
Hawk, like the bird.
Hawk.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hawk, okay, Amanda and Hawk. So, if there are no more questions from either of these two, or Scott for that matter, you can have a seat while we
Thank
go-
you.
Thanks.
Okay, and, I will, obviously, there is no one here, and we haven't
Yeah.
gotten anything from any abutters saying
Right.
differently. So I will therefore close this portion of the meeting at
Yep.
6:50, close enough?
yeah,
All right, so now we can deliberate amongst ourselves what we think about
So I'm-
going from two-family to three-family.
So I'm okay with the multifamily, because even though, I also drove on the road, it is a densely packed road. They have a massive piece of property comparatively. And for me, I'm not worried about the parking at all. They've got so much property, there's gotta be a way that that planning's gonna be able to wiggle that out of there. I'm not worried about that.
Okay,
So going, and all of the homes, just across the street, everything is densely packed. They are in the section of the road that's a little bit closer to town. So I'm kind of inclined to say yes to the multifamily part of it. It's a big piece of property and it's a big home.
Mike, what are your thoughts?
It's already a multifamily.
No, it's a two-family.
two-family.
It's two-family, so multifamily automatically, because of the structures on the property, extends it to the garage.
Right. They
Now,
wanna-
the garage could be a two-story, higher and lower, doesn't have to be parking underneath it.
right.
Let's
Depending
So
upon
Scott,
how
if
they
we were to
redo it.
grant a multifamily, is it for three? Or could they turn around? So right now it's a garage, they wanna put in basically an apartment above, they wanna live in there and they wanna rent out to two.
Yeah,
Good economical decision.
Yeah.
Could they, at some point, with us changing the designation to multifamily, could they put a fourth unit in there?
they could
without zoning?
try,
Without zoning?
not without zoning, not now. So they're at, we'll say, .47, almost a half an
It's half-
acre. So they almost have their density covered by right. They're
Yep.
3/10 away from being,
Is this one,
densely
is this
good.
one of the numbers that possibly will change after the first of the year?
no, not, well, unless the state
Yeah, I got you.
causes us to
Mandates.
change.
Sure.
So in Laconia, usually it is 6 units of density per acre. Unless you're in resident apartment, then it is 9 units per acre.
Got you.
In this zone, there is no density specifier because it's in the single family.
Understood.
But that's, if you and I have an acre of land on either side of town, you would think we would have the same right, but
Yeah.
that is
Gotcha.
not the case.
But they could, but
They
they
would-
would have to go back to zoning if
They would have to come right back through here. And it would be, now they're on the other side of that half acre
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
where they don't have any, you know. So we would be looking at a functional 3-unit with density covered.
Yep,
Say they come back 2 years from now, try to get a 4th unit, we'll have seen any missteps or any grandiose behavior,
gotcha.
you know. It's either good or bad,
Yeah, yeah.
or it's in the middle, so.
Yeah, so a limiting factor for them is going to be their house is on it's on a pitch of the road this way. All of their parking is gonna have to be on the right-hand side of the house unless they go through some kind of gymnastics to get on the other side because there's quite an elevation drop right in
There
front.
is, yeah.
So I don't think, but again, I'm not worried about parking. Is garage space considered
Yes.
parking space? Okay,
Yeah.
so.
So if they did the upstairs, left
Yeah.
the 2 down,
Yep, 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 gotcha, all right, so they'd be,
That's,
so,
it's
I'm
just,
always a
it's
fan
just
of
covered
under
parking,
oh, yeah,
yeah.
for sure, so, yeah, so, okay, I'll go back to where I was before, I'm a fan of, with the, I'm inclined to say yes to the multifamily. The parking, to me, I think that they have plenty of property to be able to make it work, that's kind of where I am.
Mike?
has the state said that by right, you can have 2 ADUs
Nope,
added to property? That did not come down?
did not come down. We're still at a single, and
Okay.
the city of Laconia has now changed it from special exception to administrative review downstairs
Okay,
and
yeah,
planning.
yeah, I got it, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So if you said, on your property, you wanted to put in a new garage, you're gonna put in an ADU, you would do it at the time you submitted your building permit.
This first one's just multifamily, the second one,
Yeah, is,
would we open is for
Density.
density.
yeah,
They're relative,
mhm,
it's already a short-term rental in 1 unit of the house.
perhaps I also have to check the date on that permit, may have expired.
I wish we had an overview of, and I guess that's what this is, it just looks different.
Yeah, that I think is
To me.
the,
Mike, that's not it.
yeah,
I
that's
know, it
the.
doesn't
Nope,
look
that's
right.
not the house,
yeah,
that's
the
Pine
one
Street.
from
That's
last
Pine
time,
Street.
yeah.
Yeah,
Another
Yeah,
thing,
that's the
okay,
one.
yeah.
another thing for me on this is,
I don't know the size of this,
The garage itself.
Here.
right?
Yeah.
Oh,
We
It
can
doesn't
ask
show.
them when they come up to what the size of that
what,
is.
you want dimensions?
Yeah.
It is on my map.
On the outbuilding also?
On the garage?
Yeah.
No, I just looked at the total.
On the
totals.
building,
Yeah.
but not this outbuilding.
Oh, no, not that.
Yep,
Oh,
I got it
that?
here.
Question is.
I just took these dimensions
'cause I was
off
looking
of
for
Vision
that on the
Appraisals.
Website, or on the,
Yeah, so that's just off
The
of
house
Vision
itself.
Appraisal, yeah, and then the green space you've gotta have and blah, 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 blah. So what
Nice.
was,
Yeah, I thought I put a property card in.
another thing also, there's
I looked for it, I
Yeah, I
didn't see
thought I
it.
put
I
no,
looked-
no other residents have,
Huh.
are here to say no to it.
Not in there?
that's true.
No, no, there we go.
No, that's for the house, but it's not for the, there's no drawing
Yeah, it
for
should
the
be-
outbuilding.
Mark, what are
No,
the
it should be
dimensions
down
of the
here.
second floor?
You can't ask him.
No, it's not
To
there.
close the meeting, you can't ask them any questions.
Okay.
Don't answer that.
Don't I?
Understood, thank you.
Looking at it, at
I
the,
looked at
Doesn't-
it
yeah.
before I came
going
and I
to
couldn't
say-
find it.
Yeah,
we're like
no, you're right, it's not there.
20,
Okay.
What are you guys feeling?
I'm inclined to say yes.
The, maybe you can talk to me differently, but right now, it's a no.
It says
And
no.
It says no. Would it change the neighborhood to go from, there are no 3-family units up there? And this would change the character of the neighborhood by making it multifamily.
But you said that there was, what do you call it, bi-family or?
There's
Uh,
4 or 5, there's 1, 2,
yeah,
3,
I think
4. I
you
have
had,
4 2-family homes.
Two-family.
4 two-family
Yeah.
homes, all the rest are single-family.
We have gotten some blowback from these neighborhoods about densification.
They're not here, though, over
There
this
you
one.
go, okay, there you go.
You
And
know,
then-
they're not here.
And then if you drive, this one home has a big, broad piece of property,
Yeah.
but all around it, they're just densely packed everywhere else. I mean, like right across the street, they are, just like it is on.
Yeah, it's all .21.
Exactly.
It's not even .25
So
in there.
putting 3 housing units on this one lot, I don't see as being outside the box.
So does somebody want to make a motion then?
I make a motion that we, so we're just going one at a time,
The first one,
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
yeah.
first one.
2025-027.
Oh, good, Mike, you got it.
You
Go for
got it.
All right, here we go. Looking for a variance from 235-2. And permitted uses. This, in fact, has a no. But through previous administrations, this has already been approved as a two-family building. Looking in this, we're looking for this variance, and this is, would not be contrary to public interest because it does address the need of housing within the community. This is a lot that, if this is done, we're not rebuilding any buildings, we're holding the same footprint, so we're going to have the same green space currently, with acknowledging that we're going to increase our parking a little here. The variance is granted, spirit of the ordinance would be observed because we're allowing what has previously been utilized within this community, even though it is an RS, to what's currently being used as a two-family apartment. Substantial justice is done in that, once again, we're moving on densities here, and there's no one here to speak against it. So certainly, we're not feeling that we're impacting the community more than we need to. This is already serviced by water and sewer. Substantial justice is that we're able to, once again, to provide extra housing, improvements. The values of surrounding properties would not be diminished. No, certainly you'd think as you updated your outbuilding, that certainly you would be able to grant more curb appeal. No fair and substantial relationship exists between the general public purpose of the ordinance provision, the specific application. We would not undermine, it's hard for me, really, you know, because I kind of don't believe this, but, you know, in this situation here, I can find myself to see the light. And it's a reasonable use because it is in a neighborhood that's within walkability, truly, to the hospital, to the stores, and everything like that.
So we have a motion to grant the variance from Article 5, Section 235-25. Do I have a second?
I have a second?
Thank you, Richard. All in favor?
Aye,
First one down.
okay, let's get to the second.
Okay, the second one that they are asking if you, I don't know if you feel the need to come up and talk to us again, is a granting of variance on density. But, is there anything you would like to say?
Could you explain what maybe we're not quite sure what that means.
Come right on out.
Let's go.
So the
Okay.
If you got the time.
The density aspect here is currently you're allowed the 2 units. This will propel you to the 3rd and final unit of density.
Understood, yeah,
Okay,
yeah, so,
And so in it, I would say that it is a variation within the neighborhood.
right.
You know, I would suggest that anybody who came up with this vision, and this is what we don't get so often, and sometimes things just evolve, but the zoning is so much a part of
Sure.
where we place stuff within the community. That's why you don't have an oil change shop
Sure.
in your neighborhood, you know, those types of things. So when we approach this, it's approached recognizing that we are densifying the community. In it, I support it in our inner structure. Some people have come and expressed dismay, but since those people aren't here, thusly forth.
Fair.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, we just see the opportunity within the space, as well as, you know, we've been living in Laconia for a couple of years now and are investing in the community and whatnot, and we see, you know, there's a need, that we are near to the hospital, so there's lots of need for the nurses and doctors
There's
there.
always nurses and doctors.
Exactly, and,
Travels and wants access like that.
yeah, and we just saw, we see that we could put it's an old house, it's 1900, and we wanted the ability to put a nice modern apartment that we could live in, and then rent out the other two, and.
Are you going
kind of
to
grow
tear
with
the
it.
garage down, or you're going to just,
That depends on the structure itself. So
Yeah,
we'd have to have
we'd
that
get some quotes.
analyzed.
I mean, we have the
but you're
footprint.
staying on the same footprint?
Yeah.
Correct. Yep.
Any questions you want to ask of them, Richard? Okay, so therefore, at 7:05, I will close the public portion of the
Okay,
meeting.
thank you.
Thank you. And we will go into deliberation. And so it is a nice big piece of property. You know, it's one of the largest pieces of property that's up on that section of town. So they certainly, you know,
Yeah, and again, where they're at, almost half an acre,
Mm-hmm.
if they were at a true half an acre, this density wouldn't even be,
right,
we're only, what, 3/10 away?
right,
So,
right.
Well, I would make a proposal.
You want to make a motion, Richard?
Yes.
Go for it.
Make a motion to approve the variance 2025-2028 for 206 Baldwin to approve the density, the application for density. Granting of the variance would not be contrary to the public interest. Granting the variance is within the spirit of the ordinance. Granting of the variance would do substantial justice because of the use of the property. There's no evidence that the surrounding properties would either be diminished or increased for unnecessary hardship. The property is being utilized in a way that is in line with the needs of the community, and it is a reasonable use as presented by the applicant. I'm complete.
Second, please.
I'll second that.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Your application is granted. Enjoy. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
See, it's a good process. They talked me into it, really.
So
It's a good crew.
when you can, if you just wanted to swing back down to planning, we'll get you on board in the site. They're more than fine, what you have going on there, how it's gonna look and whatnot, but you have the approval, so.
Should I bring square footage and dimension or not to that?
And like what level, I mean, is that like, have people do quotes and we
I
have
didn't
exactly
know,
what we're
like-
doing, or
No,
the general
let's-
look of
We'll
it?
just start with the basic application,
Okay.
that you're moving from a 2-family to a multifamily.
Okay.
And this is what will It'll give them something to gravitate towards.
Is this a record?
Won't
meeting?
overload.
So,
I hope so
When
too.
you guys are
good.
ready to do the garage one, you'll submit a building permit.
as I pulled out of the,
That'll go the way it's supposed to go with it.
Okay.
Excellent.
But, yeah, very good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And just so you, Amanda, the art walk downtown Laconia.
That's me.
She put that all over, so she's,
Oh, cool.
so we're all about the community.
There you
so-
go.
All right.
We're out.
Pictures in
That's
spring.
great.
So we're trying to get some more.
Oh,
Right on.
wonderful, thank
Little one
you.
with the trees in the center looks really great.
Now I gotta go out and find it.
Look, guys, thank you so much.
Means I have to come downtown again? Oh, my God.
I'd like to adjourn the meeting at 7:07.
seconded.
All in favor?
We're done.
Hey.
So that was,
Thank you
Oh.
for your efficient and